Ladies and gentlemen.
Let me tell you something, brother.
It's Talk Wrestling Live with Felix The Cat Katlovski
and Gemini Joe.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
We heard rumbling. No, we heard rumors. Homicide. Conan. 5150 at LAX.
Listen live on Mondays at 4 p.m. on NorthCoastUnderground.com.
and follow us on Twitter at TWL 24/7.
I'm in no mood for your wisecrack. Let's get it on.
And welcome back, wrestling fans. This is Talk Wrestling Live, Absolute Intense Wrestling. We have a big show coming up this weekend from the Odeon in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, the Flats, and it's going to be called JLIT, but that is short for the JT Lightning Memorial Tournament 2019. It's a two-night, 24-man tournament. The first round matches are going to be held Friday night, and the rest of the tournament, the second round, third round, and then the three-way finals, those matches are going to be held Saturday evening. And then Saturday afternoon, they're also going to have an 8-team tag team tournament, which is going to be the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament. So all three of these shows are going to be available for purchase on the Fight TV app. I believe if you combo and you buy all three shows, you get them for $25. The deal is if you buy the two JT Lightning tournaments, you're going to get the tag team tournament for free. So that's a pretty good deal Fight TV is doing with AIW, offering all three shows this weekend for $25 combo.
JT Lightning, he was a professional wrestler and a promoter here in Cleveland. He ran Cleveland All Pro Wrestling, and it was around for a long time. I mean, a lot of indie promotions don't last very long, and his lasted a long time, I'd say.
I remember in the late 90s, I went to a couple of Cleveland All Pro Wrestling shows.
JT Lightning, he was definitely a fighter. Unfortunately, he lost his battle to cancer, I believe, in 2016. He was a great professional wrestler. He actually taught me how to take bumps, believe it or not. I had one session with him. I just wanted to see what it was like, to be honest. And there's also Chandler Biggins, his tag team tournament. Chandler was a promoter for AIW. Unfortunately, he recently passed away as well, I believe a couple of years ago. He was a great promoter for AIW, and he had a lot of heart for the business, and he had a great mind for the business as well. He booked a lot of things that a lot of indie promoters usually don't book, because usually it's you got to get that guy, and Chandler was getting other people that you might have not heard of, or maybe booking from more of an 80s type of style. But Chandler Biggins, a great promoter, and AIW, they commemorate and do this tag team tournament every year to pay tribute to Chandler Biggins.
Yeah, and for our national audience, for those of you who may not remember, Kevin Owens shouted out Biggins and JT Lightning and AIW back in February when Fastlane was in Cleveland, Ohio.
So nice shout out from Kevin Steen, or Kevin Owens, whichever way you want to call him. But the matches that we know for JLIT, we know that Lewis Linden will be taking on Kid Cash. Kyle the Beast will be taking on Flip Kendrick. We also have Tim Donst. He'll be taking on Marco Stunt. You have Danhausen from the production. He'll be taking on Matt Justice. You have Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. He'll be taking on Savio Vega. Then we have Pat Buck, and he'll be taking on Swoggle, Hornswoggle, if you all remember him. Lee Moriarty, he's been a regular at AIW recently, and he's taking on Colt Cabana. You also have DCR, Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham, and he'll be taking on Mance Warner. Eric Stevens, he'll be taking on Dominic Garini. So Eddie Kingston's taking on Zach Thomas. Joshua Bishop, and he'll be taking on Trey Lamar. And then you have Nick Gage, and he'll be taking on AJ Gray. So my prediction, I believe that the three finalists that we'll be seeing are Mance Warner, Nick Gage, and Matthew Justice.
Okay, I'm going to closely agree with you, but Matthew Justice and Mance Warner are going to be two of the finalists. My feeling is that the feud between Matthew Justice and Intense Champion Joshua Bishop is going to continue this weekend. Matthew Justice is going to cost Joshua Bishop his match, and then in return, Joshua Bishop is going to cost Matthew Justice the finals. So I'm going Eddie Kingston hasn't had a shot at the Absolute title since the last show from the church, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So Eddie Kingston is going to be my final prediction to win the whole tournament.
I'm going to go with Matthew Justice. I think he's deserving of the Absolute Championship, and I think that's who's going to be our very finalist right there.
All right, so there you have it. Felix the Cat going with Matthew Justice, and Gemini Joe going with Eddie Kingston. Like we were talking about before, there is going to also be a Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament, and that's going to be taking place this Saturday afternoon from the Odeon. And bell time for that is going to be at 3 p.m. It's an 8-man single elimination tournament straight up. Now, they haven't announced the brackets, so we can't really speculate on finals or anything, but they have announced the first round matches, and then I already have like a winner predicted in this one as well. So the first round matches are going to be, of course, your AIW Tag Team Champions, To Infinity and Beyond, and they're going to be taking on the Spirit Squad. Now, no, Dolph Ziggler is not going to be in AIW, at least not yet. But it's going to be Kenny, the former Kenny Dykstra, who a lot of people thought was going to be the standout of the group when the Spirit Squad was in WWE from 2005 and 2006. So it's going to be Kenny, and I believe it's going to be Mikey, the two guys representing the Spirit Squad. Then you're going to see the Rip City Shooters, which for those of you who don't know is going to be Joshua Bishop and Maserati Wes Barkley. They're going to be taking on the team of the boys from Jollyville. And then you're going to see the WWE explode. And no, we're not talking about that WWE. It's going to be the Philly Marino Experience taking on the Weird World. And then in the final first round match, it's going to be the Young Studs taking on the Production. Now, according to the graphic, it looks like the Production here is going to be represented by Eddie Only and Derek Director. But we are not 100% sure on that. That may change. But Joshua Bishop could have a very long weekend if he goes far into JLIT, because he's also going to be in this tournament, the Chandler Biggins tournament as well.
And something interesting about both these tournaments, they are, like every show, the card is subject to change, so anything can happen. Maybe a wrestler can't make it to the show. Maybe there's flight delays. Maybe there's travel issues. Well, but the thing is that anything can happen, and they might have to find a replacement and change the match at the last moment. So I think last year we had at JLIT, I think Gangrel showed up. There was some kind of a changeover that was made that, even if you had the original bracket and you were competing, like trying to predict what was going to happen, that little change threw everything up.
Yeah, so that still could happen, but I'm still picking Eddie Kingston to win for JLIT. I'm going with the Young Studs. I was really impressed with them for a while. Of course, as you may know, longtime listeners of the show know that I was a huge fan of the Production when it was Magnum CK and Frankie Flynn being the AIW Tag Team Champions. And the one team that I always thought that could unseat them would have been the Young Studs. And I think it's just their time to make a run at the championship. And, to Infinity and Beyond, I mean, they have been champions now for all of 2019. They won that championship on the last show in 2018 from the Weird World. So, yeah, I mean, To Infinity and Beyond has definitely, taken that mantle from the Production, and they have been great champions. So I think that's just going to be the one match for the Tag Team Championship that I'd like to see.
To Infinity and Beyond, that being Colin Delaney and Cheech.
Yeah, Cheech, a former Ring of Honor alumni, and Colin Delaney actually got some work in the WWE's version of ECW, and I think 205 Live as well. He did some enhancement talent work there. So, I mean, these two guys are veterans, and they're definitely a great team. Their tag team finisher, for those of you who haven't seen it, is pretty sick. The double combination, I think it's a Kryptonite Crunch and Unprettier, I think, or it might be another move. But yeah, their double team combo move is pretty sick. That's going to wrap it up for today's show here on Talk Wrestling Live. Buy your tickets to JLIT. You can hop on over to AIWrestling.com. If you're not going to be able to be in the downtown Cleveland, Ohio Flats area this weekend, you can also purchase tickets for the show on the Fight TV app. For just $25, you can get all 3 shows. Watch it from the comfort of your own home on your Wi-Fi connected device, and you get unlimited replays, so you can't beat that deal. Alright, so for Felix the Cat, this is Gemini Joe, and we will see you next week here on Talk Wrestling Live. You've been listening to Talk Wrestling Live. Listen live on Mondays at 4 p.m. on NorthCoastUnderground.com.
And follow us on Twitter at TWL 24/7.
Goodbye, and good night, bad.
Rest in peace.